Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of CCR, Colton and Craig's Ramblings, brought to you by your hosts, Craig, that's me, and then Colton,
That's me.
yeah. And today do you want me to say your actual name? Today we're here with my unnamed girlfriend because she's ashamed of us.
Hello.
For real.
For Rizzy.
You can call me UG, unnamed girlfriend.
Eugene?
Eugene?
Eugene, my girlfriend Eugene.
Eugenie.
Hello, Craig. Hello, Eugene.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Colton, do you have a piece of media you want to talk about first, or can I just, blow my load in the first 5 minutes?
Blow your load right now.
Get ready.
Okay, so I really want to talk about American Psycho.
Okay.
And why the Sigma grind set American Psycho is such a fun meme. What do you Colton, I'll open with, what do you think about the American Psycho memes?
They're entertaining. I'll give them that. And
I like or go.
Christian Bale does a strangely good Patrick Bateman. It's kind of unsettling.
He does the only Patrick
Yeah.
Bateman. There's not another one.
I know, but it's just they could have done someone else, and it would have been shittier.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the Batman movies?
Yeah.
The Bruce Wayne is startlingly similar to Patrick Batman.
Patrick Batman.
Bateman. Batman.
Bateman.
But did you ever notice that like kind of the characters are very similar?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just like a sidebar. I think that American Psycho is really cool as like a meme because if you've never seen the movie and you've only seen mostly just the memes, it's just a businessman.
Not international.
Not international.
Sad.
A regular sad face.
Yeah.
Not an international businessman, just a regular businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is just so much fun about him is like if you've mostly just seen the memes, it's like you can't piece together anything really about the movie with just the memes, other than like Paul Allen's card.
Let's see Paul Allen's card.
Let's see Paul Allen's deep dive into American Psycho. Also, you know that's Jared Leto who plays Paul Allen? Jared Leto also.
I'm terrible with actors, so.
He plays the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Weird. Oh, I'm sorry. His most notable role is he plays Morbius in the 2022 blockbuster film Morbius.
Blockbuster. Like it sold gangbusters, more than Titanic, Avatar, and Avengers Endgame combined.
It probably sold at least 4 or 5 sales.
At least.
Okay, unironically, I've never seen a single person interested unironically in Morbius other than me. Like, I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this is Dracula, but for Marvel. That's kind of interesting. But it just so happened to come out at the same time as like one of the better Batman movies.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch the new Batman?
I still haven't, and my a friend of mine. I tried to watch it with a friend of mine, but he was like, "Oh, I watched it with my dad," and I'm like, "Well, fuck you."
Zoe Kravitz plays really, really good not Wonder Woman, Catwoman.
It's because it barely says 2 words and she looks sexy. That's
like I
said, great Catwoman.
The
whole point of Catwoman, she just nails it.
Well, her point is to be like,
Batman's mistress.
Like not quite his mistress, but like almost. Like it's like a will.
I mean, something to keep him busy on the side. Like when he's not Batman, he can like fawn over Catwoman.
Yeah, like it's like he can like sit around and think about Catwoman,
yeah.
But he doesn't ever like do anything about Catwoman. Yeah.
But like they're both not that into each other to like invest.
I think he's into
like
her.
Mutual.
I think he's really into her because he's let her like be free forever.
That's what I'm saying. So if he didn't he's not invested enough to tie down like to her and like I don't know, live a animal filled life because like
Oh, you can choose
cat
cats.
bad, yeah, that wasn't very funny, but yeah, they don't like each other that much to where he's like, oh, I'm gonna save people over you. You can go.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of the really
Yeah,
good.
so it's like a mutual like, okay, we can fuck and then I'm gonna leave.
They don't fuck ever though. That's like the point.
Okay, well, sexual tension.
Yeah, there's like the
Even
whole
for the
point is like
viewers.
so much sexual tension that'll like never pay off.
That's kind of hot.
It's
It's the point.
yeah, it's the point. But Zoe Kravitz did a really good Wonder Woman, and okay, Batman fucking sucked.
It's sucking fun.
No, they got
It was mid, but it didn't need to be 3 hours.
no. The movie was good. That Batman was shit.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah, Robert was a terrible Batman.
I feel like he just needs to be thicker, and then like have a better voice for the Batman.
He was so
He was so
fucking.
average. Like he
Yeah.
didn't bring anything to the role.
This has devolved from
I know American Psycho too.
Batman. I
Yeah.
didn't even. I meant from Colton and I speaking to you and I talking.
But like,
Sorry.
here's a weird thing about like Batman is that like everyone knows who he is. Like he's not really expected to go through an arc, unlike his villains or literally anyone else, like Commissioner Gordon or whoever. It's just like, what do you do with Batman? That's the real question.
I mean, I feel like you could see. This is the problem with like someone like Batman, who everybody knows and loves Batman. But you could do a lot of fun stuff, just like becoming Batman is like a really cool concept and one of my favorites. Like slowly becoming like you get to go through him as like a young man trying to like find his way as the Batman. Which is kind of what the newest Batman movie did, was like sort of like early Batman, like he doesn't really know his place in Gotham yet. But I think a cooler one would be like, did you see The Amazing Spider-Man, the newest one?
With Tom or
No Way Home.
Okay. Did you see
Yeah.
any of the first Spider-Man movies?
with
Doesn't matter, like
long
Toby?
time ago. I barely remember any of it.
No, I mean like Amazing Spider-Man 1, or the newest like the first.
So the Amazing Spider-Man is with Andrew. They all
Yeah.
have different names that tell you
Yeah.
which.
Did
so
you
with
see
them-
the first movie in any 3 of those
Oh, no.
series? Like, did you just see any of the first Spider-Man movies? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yes, like a long time ago, and I barely remember it.
Yeah.
Did you see? But you didn't see like the Tom Holland one or the Andrew Garfield one?
I remember a little bit.
I-
With Jamie.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Okay.
I watched. I'll be honest. I never watched Andrew Garfield's all.
He's the third best Spider-Man.
And I
Yeah.
know, and that part where he saves well, I better not spoil it. Where he saves a certain someone in No Way Home. That moment was completely lost on me because little did I
Oh.
realize.
That was one of the best moments too.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was one of the best. I was like, ah. But what was your point?
So, in all of the Spider-Mans, the first Spider-Man isn't so much about Spider-Man being Spider-Man, about Spider-Man like finding his place as Spider-Man. Like, what does Spider-Man do?
Yeah.
And at first, nobody takes him seriously because they're like, oh, he's Spider-Man. Well, I think that could be a really because Spider-Man's a silly hero, right? Because he's like swinging from the webs and he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and he's from New York.
New York.
Yeah, hey, I'm from New York. Hey,
Fuck out of here.
hey, I'm swinging here. Well, you could do a really at least what I think would be really interesting is nobody's going to take Batman seriously at first. So like nobody takes Spider-Man seriously, but he's not a serious hero, so it's like not that crazy of a thing.
How is he not a
Like-
serious hero?
Like he's not like mean or like evil. He's like I'm Spider-Man. Hey, he's like
I'm not
kind
gonna
of
hurt you, but
Like
like he's kind of awkward and
Well, that's the point. Though.
Yeah, like
he's still like saving people. He's still doing something.
Yeah, he's
How
not
is
like
he not serious? He's just not like.
he's like not a very serious person.
Well, his whole thing is like kindness.
Yeah, he's like
so
a
he's not
friendly.
gonna like kill the villain.
Yeah,
But that
like,
doesn't make him less serious. Like he's still getting the job done.
Yeah, but he's
But
like,
how well is he doing his job if he's like letting go the villain? You know what I mean? Or like trying to turn the villain.
I mean, that's just because it's hard to sell a hero who kills people. Like that's okay.
I mean military,
You're right. They are heroes.
but they also kill people.
Yeah, our enemies.
Okay.
Like if like remove Batman from your mind and imagine the elevator pitch of Batman. Like, okay, so there's just going to be a young kid. His parents is going to die in front of him by a criminal, and he's going to become obsessed with both bats and vigilante justice.
I thought you were gonna say both bats and men.
But wait. He has a sexual, thing going on with this lady who's also a cat because that's sexy as well. So it's like sex, but like
Cats.
vengeance, and then it's like action
Vengeance.
and like
Vengeance.
punches. Oh wait. He also has a Batmobile.
Like the Pope.
He has a mobile, but bat.
And he
Yeah,
has
like
an
the Pope
old
mobile
British
with-
butler.
American Psycho.
No, I'm off that. I had that not. I don't remember what I was gonna say. The reason why I pivoted so early on into that is because I didn't remember what I was gonna say. I had a thing planned, but I just forgot it.
Mm.
But like I was saying about Batman, like movie, is if you did Batman being all serious, but nobody takes him seriously yet, would be like kind of like the funny part of the first half of the movie. It's like when he's trying to be menacing, because if you don't know that's Batman, that's the goofiest shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2/3. Go.
Like it kind of reminds me of like like it's not gonna make sense at first if you have seen it, but just follow through with me. So
Yes.
Daredevil, like it's I wouldn't say a recently new show, but it's kind of recent. It only has
I've
three.
seen the movie.
It only has 3 seasons so far, and like the first season, like he's okay. Well, hold on, I should take a step back. Daredevil, if you don't know, is basically like he's a lawyer during the day, but he's essentially like Batman at night, where he punches
Mhm.
street criminals to almost death, but not actual death.
He's blind.
And he's blind, yes. And like for most of season 1, he gets his ass handed to him. Like he still comes out on top, but he's fucking like bleeding from like all of his limbs. And like
Coughing
I-
up blood.
I would have
Shit.
liked I would like to see like your pitch of the new Batman with also an angle of like that. Like sure he can like train to his butt falls off, but like once he's like in actual like hand-to-hand combat with like hardened street criminals, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, and like that would be, I think, really cool to explore because they never really do it with Batman, but it'd be like he's serious, but no one takes him serious either.
Mhm.
Because like he's fucking I'm vengeance. You're a bitch. Like it just would be such an interesting thing as he's like getting beat up kinda. They don't know who he is, so he's kinda seen as very goofy.
Mhm.
Because like if he's like 16, 17-year-old Batman, he's like, like a goofy, lanky kid.
Yeah.
And
So
you-
like a villain origin story, but like
yeah, like a hero origin. Like how
Yeah.
does Batman become Bat? And you could do like a movie or even two.
I wouldn't say two. Nobody would want to watch.
Okay, well, you're right.
Aw.
But like you could, because it's already would be like a 2-hour at most movie.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a long enough one that you could
But
justify
then,
the
like,
sequel.
where does the action come in? Because nobody wants to watch a hero movie and see him get beat up for 2 hours. They want to see him.
Yeah, like the
Look
first
at-
like 45 minutes, he's like getting
Well,
beat
that's
up,
what you just
and you get
said
it like
that
slowly.
the regular Batman was. You just said that
What?
that the Batman movie that just came out was like him getting beat up.
No, it was
or
him
like him
beating the
like
shit out of
no,
you.
like people not believing in him or
Yeah.
what he was at first.
But this is like everybody knows who Batman is in the newest Batman,
Oh right, okay. I got
but
you.
like he doesn't know his. Like they all know who he is, but he doesn't know his role yet. You need to go back one more step to what is
Yeah.
the Batman? fundamentally, what do I do? And you could do like his whole turning point would be like he fucks around and accidentally kills somebody, and like it fucking messes him up mentally, and he is like, "Oh, I'm gonna quit being Batman," but then the crime gets worse, and he's like, "I am vengeance."
Let's go to LA right now.
Like it could be this whole thing about like why Batman's so anti-killing, even though reasonably speaking, it would be easier for everybody if he did.
Or all Batman like is Batman like world like all like that? Is there not like a version out there already? Like the comics or
Colton, do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not into like multiverse. This could be like a movie that they made, and I wouldn't know. I'm not that into.
But it only made like I don't know, $10.
Who would direct the movie though?
I'm not into directors.
Me, obviously, but I think like okay, this would be a weird pick for a movie with no killing, but Quentin Tarantino could do it really well. Just because like a lot of his movies are kind of funny but still very serious. Colton,
No clue.
Yes.
God, do you who do you think would be a good director for the fictitious?
I don't know directors.
Thank you. We're normal people.
Normal.
Normal, exactly.
I don't have a secret fetish for Quentin Tarantino.
I'm not fucking 30 years old.
Well, Eugene, I don't know what to tell you.
I should say 40 instead.
You are 30. You're almost 30.
Yeah.
Why? Why would we make it?
Making out.
Colton, do you have anything to talk about? I feel like this has turned into just me and Eugene.
What do you
talking.
think about American Psycho?
Eugene's really want to talk about American Psycho.
I know. I didn't know Eugene was.
That was the first point. I was like, ooh.
I didn't know you were that into American Psycho. Like,
You know I'm in American Psycho.
I made Eugene watch it twice.
You didn't make
That
me
is
watch
less times than I expected.
Was it twice?
Yeah, it was twice.
Oh.
I expected more.
It's a very long movie.
Not really. Okay, sure, it's mid, but whatever.
What?
Excuse me?
I mean in
Oh
length.
yeah, we gotta go. Like we have a dentist appointment. We totally forgot.
I mean in length.
Average length movie.
It is. Well, I thought it was like 2.5 hours.
I don't know.
No, it's like 2.
I mean, that doesn't make.
Anyway, if I remember right, the director was he said his major regret was like doing the ending because he felt like
it overshadowed what the movie was supposed to be about.
Yeah, because
Definitely.
he lamented the fact that like he made it seem like it was just a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, just kind of like what you said, it kind of undermines the point of like, you know.
Oh yeah, because they leave it open to this idea that it never happened instead of like that it was all covered up.
Yeah. And I feel like the actual meaning of the movie is very important, and it was very like overshadowed. Well, not important, but it's like interesting.
I think it's like everybody's explored the idea that rich people are too powerful and disconnected, but I feel like American Psycho did it in such a fantastically different way that it was really important. So I agree.
Mm-hmm. Usually when it's like rich people, it's like, oh, parties, oh, benefits and luncheons and shit. But this was like corporate, like in the meeting board shit. And like how he functioned.
Soliciting prostitutes on the side.
The normal shit, you know.
And like whenever we talk about like wealth and media, you either get like these like whenever we talk about out of touch people who are very rich, like so wealthy they're out of touch people, it always turns into like this, oh, they're just, you know, it's either like they become, you know, fucking weird and eccentric and whatever, or it's like they become, oh, they don't realize the brutality of their actions or whatever, or they're like disconnected.
Yeah.
I like that Patrick like personally stabs that homeless man to death. Like there's no attempt to even be disconnected from his violence. I think kind of his ending monologue where he talks about how he wants everybody to hurt as bad as he does. kind of like drives home that fact that like this you become so disconnected from humanity that like attacking and killing people is like epic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, how is he hurt? Like, he's rich. He's just like antisocial. He hates everyone. That's fucking normal. I'm like that. So I'm not antisocial, but I like hate everyone. But I don't go out and kill people. But maybe he's like so like alienated, kind of in his own mind, because he's like not actually that he's just gonna go to the extreme end and like start killing people.
No, he's ran out of like he's become very desensitized from life, and they show it like remember when he's fucking the first prostitute? You're like, oh, a threesome, that's all right, and then he like has his threesome and records it, and you're like, oh, he's flexing in the camera, epic. But then you get around to like the end, and he's like brutalizing these prostitutes.
Yeah.
And then you see that he wakes up, or not wakes up, he works out with Texas
Pornography
Chainsaw.
playing in the background.
Yeah, and like he works out to like fucking porn. Like he's very desensitized to like very basic like things in his life. Like his killing, it's like the first time you see him like hurting women, it's in a sexual context. So when he says like hurting, I think it's like him personally interpreting it as hurting, but it's just that he's so desensitized from what it like human things.
Well,
the like his only joy left that isn't so fucking watered down and desensitized to him is killing people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a fun thing for him to do.
well, how is he fuck?
Because he has access to all the shit. He like imagine if you just could have anything at any time.
Yeah.
I think it's like the desensitization and like the disconnection of like the ultra wealthy is like the point of the book or the movie. It's not a book. Well, it is a book, but it's also a movie. I never read the book.
I don't remember the book.
I've read one book.
You read the book?
No, I read a book, but not that book. I've only read
Yeah.
well, 2 books, cover to cover.
Nope.
One of them was the Lorax.
Really?
Isn't that like 30 pages?
It's 76 pages.
Oh.
Really?
That's a lot for a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, I'll say.
And the context was I was putting a little kid to sleep. And I was like, okay, oh, fuck, which little kid was it? Okay, Rhett, pick a book and I'll read it to you. And he was like 1.5, so he like just flailed his arm over the bookshelf until one fell out. And it was the Lorax. And I said, okay, lay down. And he was asleep by page 5, and I just sat there reading out loud the entire book because it was so enthralling.
That's cute.
I love the Lorax. It is one of my favorite books.
Have you seen the movie?
I have. I saw it in theaters with Tara.
Oh.
I saw it
What
in
about you,
theaters
Cole?
with my parents.
This is close enough to me. Mine was my aunt.
Ah.
Where? It's not very funny. Fine.
Woodland.
No, like
I know.
aunt. Where? Yeah.
What about you, Colton? Other than do you want to talk about Catcher in the Rye?
Oh shit. Sure. Oh fuck. I was not prepared for you to bring that up.
Can I get a quick summary because I kind of forgot.
I think he was about to, because I haven't read it either.
You haven't
Okay,
read it?
so shit. I've read it exactly 1.5 times.
And a half?
Yeah, like
You piece of shit.
What do you mean piece of shit?
You can't even finish a book that you've already read.
You
Huh?
want to know what's funny? Like that first half, I read it in a day.
Jesus.
I know. Fuck. Anyway. All right, I'm going to do my best to retell the book. So, this dude, he's like, I want to say he's in high school ish. And the point is like, oh yeah, this is technically a flashback because in the beginning he's essentially saying like, oh well, this is my story, but I don't really care if you read it or not. Anyway, he's like in his high school, and like it's like the day he just got kicked out, but for some reason he's still sticking around because life.
Mm-hmm.
he has an uninteresting conversation with his teacher that foreshadows, the themes of the book, and then
Wait,
goes
what's
to
the main character's name?
Holden, I believe.
Oh, Holden. If you keep acting like this, you're gonna wind up catching things in the rye.
Okay, not that on the nose, but yeah.
Your pity giggles hurt more than silence.
All right, I'll do a fake laugh.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Anyway, he goes to his dorm. He talks to people that are not really interesting, also, or important to the book. And then, he almost goes to sleep, and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go to New York. Keep in mind, this takes place in like eastern Pennsylvania, so it's not that far away. So he goes there, and like he has a both good and bad time at the same time. It's strange. So like he goes to like this bar, I guess, and like for some reason he likes to explain that he's like old enough, or not old enough, but he looks old enough to be like, oh, I can go into bars and order drinks. And then,
Oh,
and then you wanna know what's funny? Like the first moment he tries to like buy a drink, he's like, how old are you? And he's like, you know what? Just give me a Coke.
So he's bitch made.
And
he looks 21, but he's a coward.
And it kind of foreshadows the point I'm gonna make. But we'll get no we'll get there. We'll get there. Calm down. Then,
Not a cop.
Not a cop.
not a cop. You can feel me up.
Can I?
Okay.
So uninteresting things happen later, and he orders he. I wouldn't say he accidentally, but he also doesn't willingly buy a prostitute. He has a metaphorical gun to his head.
Pay me to suck your dick or I'll kill you.
No, it was the pimp that he talked to first.
Pay this woman to suck your dick or I'll kill you.
So this person that rhymes with prostitute walks in his hotel room, and like the strange thing is, it's like she's like his age, which is like 17.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'll say. And like he's not really all that interested into doing anything really, and they just talk for a while, and like and she just fucking steals his money. Not all the way though, like enough to where like the bill is due, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then the pimp fucking beats the shit out of him, and they both leave.
Oh hell yeah. No, he doesn't.
And that was like that's like night one.
Day one in New York got beat up by a pimp.
None of this is ringing a bell either.
What do you mean?
Like, I read it for English class.
Well,
I read it. I'm like quotes. Because anyways, and I don't remember any of this shit.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Anyways, continue.
This is the part where it gets like, foggy for me. So, I'm gonna skip ahead a lot. He visits his like quote unquote crush, and like they go ice skating, but in the end, like it ends up going nowhere. And then he goes to his family. He goes to he takes his little sister to the carousel, and then he's like, "Fuck, life is worth living." And then it cuts to him at the end where he's like, "I'm in a mental hospital."
Oh fuck, dude! Literally me.
Literally me.
Literally me.
Like literally at like the last couple pages of the book, and he's like, that's really all that happened those 2 days." Yeah, most of the book takes place in 2 days.
Jesus.
So you said that when he took his sister to the carousel kind of thing, he realized life is worth living.
Yeah, because like the book doesn't the book nor the book fuck Colton nor Holden nor the book really says that he's depressed, but like they're kind of like subtly pushing the envelope on
Yeah.
that. And like if you read into his words, especially like the part where like he's still at school, you can tell he's an outcast. Like he doesn't really get along with everybody, and he's kind of like I wouldn't say quick to anger, but like he's quick to annoyed, I guess.
Yeah. I get you, Holden.
Hmm.
So
I for some reason really can identify with Holden. Something about the idea of being very, very, very quick to anger. Maybe Holden did nothing wrong.
stop. Can you open this one now?
No. Oh, that blind, yeah.
But what I really like about the book is that Holden sounds like a real person.
Yeah.
Like because you gotta keep in mind J.D. Salinger, the author, who probably has like a degree or two in English, could have easily made Holden into like an analytical like I didn't like the way his tone was, but I'm just gonna keep that to myself. He didn't do that, and I appreciate that. It sounds like someone who's like a little out there, but it's enough to sound more human than like just a normal person being like, yeah, okay. And like a, a subtle thing I realize is that he repeats himself like a lot, like someone
Yeah.
who's like rambling in a story,
Yeah.
kind of like what he's doing,
um.
and that made it
So
feel more
so I
real.
looked it up, and it said like the main themes were just like preserving innocence, and I
Yeah.
can see that like him like the prostitute situation, sorry, the prostitute situation,
Hmm.
and like meeting up with his sister and doing something like kind of youthful and innocent.
Yeah, but
So what do you think about that?
it's kind of reason like that's supposed to be like the emotional gut punch of like the book. And
Mm-hmm.
hell, it's even on the cover of the book. It like a horse on a carousel.
Mm-hmm. So fuck. So what does like Catcher in the Rye mean then?
Well, like
Like in relation to the book?
catching the right. Oh, I'll be honest. Like I forgot. Like like they say the name of the book in the book, like halfway to like 2/3 into the book, like around there. And I forgot why, and it's bugging the shit out of me. Why didn't you look it up, Eugene?
I'm on it, Colton.
What are you guys arguing about? Sorry. I just
What does Catcher in the Rye mean in relation to the
it had something to do with killing John Lennon.
Hail John?
Right? I saw a meme about that one time.
Okay.
No, like I saw like a meme.
So the title Catcher in the Rye is a reference to Come and Throw the Rye, a Robert Burns poem and a symbol for the main character longing to preserve the innocence of childhood. So I don't know what the original quote even means, so I'm just like
Getting beat up by a pimp, my favorite part of childhood.
He also gets beat up by his roommate because he's being annoying.
I mean,
Getting beat up, my favorite part of childhood.
don't be bitch made. You won't get beat up.
Literally cannot identify with that at all. No disrespect, but
I'm Craig. I don't get beat up.
nope.
Bitch.
Fuck no, baby. I'm out here going for the throat.
You be beating up people.
Yes, exactly.
You do the beating up.
Yeah, very, very proud.
Proud bully. Hey.
Don't give me a reason to
Oh my
want to
god.
hurt you. I don't know what to tell you about that.
But
Yo, looking mad heavy. Shit.
Let me slap the
Let me
shit
lay
out of
you
you.
out. so it won't weigh on your shoulder.
If I
I was
remember, if I remember right, when the book was released, like a lot of teenagers liked the book.
Mm.
So much so that some schools even banned it.
Yeah. They
Which,
said it was for adults, but it slowly got into like the adolescent crowd.
but like, which is always a good idea. Like, oh yeah, ban books. That'll make them not want to
Yeah,
read it. Wink,
exactly.
wink.
Don't read this. Oh no, I'm gonna assign it in our class.
But like, I can find the words. Hold on. it it sounds like it was made by like a real teenager, or like a teenager that just came out of those teenage years.
the mental hospital.
Yes, that too. And not only that, but I feel like adults can take away from something from this book too, and is that remember your fucking childhood.
I thought you were gonna say, "Remember your fucking place."
It's just that like adults seem to forget that, and I'm not making a quiet rant about my parents. No, I'm just saying that like there's adults out there that are like, why would you do that? Well, fucking remember when you were like those years, 17, 18, 16, whatever, and you were just
They're
like let's do shit that we can get away with. Like, does anyone remember that?
I personally can relate to that, Colton.
Mm-hmm. Me as well.
You know, sometimes you body slam a kid on the second story of your.
Oh my god.
Hold on, this is funny.
It's true, is what it is.
Yeah, I body slammed a kid on the second story of my high school, and then they said I shit in a urinal. Completely unrelated. And I was cussing out the vice principal too.
Are you serious?
Yes, I didn't fucking do it, and I was cussing. I was like, I'm not a fucking barbarian. You're stupid. Fuck your camera footage. Fuck you. I didn't. Just freaking out.
I love her main piece of evidence was that you were skipping out of the bathroom.
Like you just did the best shit ever.
That's what she said. He was so proud. He was skipping out of the bathroom. Fuck you. I was in there for 43 seconds wearing my skinny ass, tight ass jeans. You think I can pull these motherfuckers off, take a shit, and then skip out of there? No.
Not wiping and not washing your hands.
Right.
But what's hella funny is 10 minutes later, not even, I fucking body slam a kid. Like assault, like attack somebody on the second floor.
Assault.
Pick him up, throw him on the ground, shake the fucking building. They never noticed. They never knew.
But shit is where they cross the line.
No, I just don't think the camera's there.
No, I'm saying that, but
Yeah.
then they didn't catch you for that.
Yeah. Which was the weirdest part.
That's so strange.
Like when they caught me when they called me up the next day, I was like, oh shit, they got me.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh
That was so funny.
yeah, because I walked in ready to be like, he threw pencils at us. I get it. You know what? I'll take the suspension. And then she was something I never would.
Silliest shit.
And she was like, "Do you know why I'm here?" And I was like, "I think so." And she's talking about shit, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
You dumb fucking bitch.
And and she's like, "Did you see the shit in the urinal?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I saw it." And I just moved to the next urinal. And she was like, "You fucking did it, you fucking sicko." I was like, dude, ask anybody who fucking knows me. That's the most out of pocket shit of all time. But yeah, fucking Miss Gates had it fucking out for me.
Yeah,
She's not very.
we gotta do one layer off because this person's real.
Yeah.
And on the off chance this does blow up, it's just gonna be.
I mean, yeah, it's like fuck you, dude. Like literally, she got so worried that I was gonna get violent that she brought in the other vice principal.
No way.
in the middle of my
I
room.
forgot they had a second vice principal.
They had 3, by the way.
They hired the third one just because of you.
No, it was like this big. It was like,
Oh, we had a student. He actually shit.
you could tell he used to be like a football player. Now he's like was a football coach. A bigger, older dude. I was like, I feel like if I was in the right mood, I could beat his ass too.
In the right mood.
Yeah, like that real like.
If I went to the gym before, I had a good pump.
Like just
really just like
primal
elbow.
rage.
Primal.
I have not been that angry many times in my life. Like I wouldn't say it's the angriest I've ever been, but that is definitely top 10. The worst part is there's so much shit I actually do. Do I actually beat up freshmen? Do I actually knock shit out of people's hands? Do I actually say, slurs? And am I actually highly, phobic of many different things? Yes, I am. Did I shit in a urinal? No. And to be honest, I just kind of let myself go because I figured if I act so offended, maybe they'll be like, oh, clearly we made a mistake. It actually took my mom going down to the school and losing her shit.
Really?
Yeah.
To make them believe you?
Yeah.
Fuck them.
And the actual principal, who like no one ever saw, was like, well, I don't know.
No one ever saw.
No, nobody fucking got there. You remember that, Colton, right?
Yeah.
Nobody could get their hands on Mr. fucking Willer.
I know, like, I feel like I only saw him like 3 times in my senior year. That was like, 2 during the actual school year and 1 on graduation day.
Yeah, you did not see that motherfucker around at all. You never saw him. He was...
It was like seeing a rare white elk.
I was like seeing an elk. Yeah, Mr. Bates was always up everyone's ass, like to an obscene amount. What are you doing?
Maybe he shat.
But they couldn't figure out who did it. Because there was
Who fucking cares? It's a urinal. Fucking just
flush it. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I didn't do it, but still, like, I wouldn't call it a big deal.
Students are being body slammed.
It's
like literally.
It's mildly problematic at most.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that they had cameras everywhere. I got away with so much shit. Like okay, were you there when Aleppo put his foot through the wall, Colton?
Yeah, I was there. I saw it. And I literally turned around and I see everyone else picking up their backpacks and leaving, and I turn around and I see Aleppo just standing there like he just took a shit. Oh, I still remember it clear as a bell.
Never got in trouble.
Wow.
There was 3 cameras in that area.
Yep.
He put his he tried to run, run up a wall and like do a flip.
Yeah.
Well, you've met Aleppo, right? Mm-hmm. He is not athletic.
And he put his fucking knee into the drywall.
No, it was his knee, not his foot.
I remember his knee, but
that must be his knee.
I don't know. I could be swayed on this.
He put part of his leg through the fucking sheetrock. And not like a little, oopsie doops, little and then fucking home. Like, I could put my hand into a fist and just, like, go in and not touch the sides.
Wow.
Like, it was big. And we moved just a chair in front of it, and then everybody just quietly left.
I still won't forget, like, as soon as he does that, I just see, like, 3 or 4 people, including you, just pick up their backpacks and walk away. not saying a word, not, like, making eye contact with anybody, just staring at the ground.
Aleppo and I later put a hole in the wall of the art wing, wrestling, and then me and Robert did the same thing.
Hello?
You there?
Hello? Hello?
Oh, yeah. Hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. There was just like no comment on that. That was hella funny.
I mean, like.
Okay. All right.
What else am I supposed to say? Spunk, gargle, wee wee?
I mean, you could bring up things that you broke at Quest.
Anyway, I do remember like Robert and like Aleppo, like the one time he actually did go to my house. I remember he and Robert were wrestling, and then all of a sudden my dad walked in like uninvited, and he was like, "Hey, hey!" Like it was the first time in a long time I've heard my dad like raise his voice like that, and just
Robert and Muslim.
yes.
I'll never go with that Muslim.
How about that one time where like we were all in my basement, and like I can't remember how many fucking people were there. Like it was like one, two. There's like you and me, 3, 4, 5, and it was like 6 people. I think.
When Calvin was molesting Brendan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
like how many people was that? Like total.
6 at least.
Yeah.
I want to say
Because I
everybody.
remember walking home and I made the joke like this is like a fucking conga line.
Fucking I remember Robert started doing it as a joke, and then Calvin started doing it as not a joke.
And then someone turned the lights out and all fucking hell broke loose.
Dude, Calvin looks for any excuse to do some wacky shit.
I'll fucking say.
Were you there when he tried to rape Bo?
No.
Do you want to hear this? Do you want that story for the podcast? Do you want to save that one for later? Because that's a pretty good one.
Sure. You know what? Not why not? Fuck it. We ball.
All right, fucking we ball. Eugene just stuck her tongue out.
Eugene. Oh, not Eugene.
Eugene. But it was a bunch of us. It was me. I know Robert was there because that was when I realized Robert might be big and strong, but it's all those muscles to cover the fact he's a giant pussy.
Don't be mean to Robert.
You'll see why I fucked with Robert so hard after this story. Calvin, obviously, me, Bo. There was someone else. I forget who it was. It wasn't Brendan because you and Brendan are always together.
Together
it might have been like another
forever and ever tonight. Anyway, I had to do the Rick Astley lyric.
The Rick roll.
Mm-hmm. The alternate universe
So,
Rick roll.
So it's kind of going normal. You know how Calvin's parents would just like leave for like 5 hours at a time in the middle of the
night? Like, oh, we're going to go get groceries, and then they would like come back at night.
Yeah, like the middle of the night. It's like, yay. Like I know that they like his parents are cool. They were just like trying to give us space to like hang out, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But still, it was still so funny, just like how long they would be gone, and their justification would be so flimsy.
Like, oh, we're gonna watch ducks.
it's 10, Mr. Alvin. It's 10 o'clock at night. We're gonna go to the grocery store. Everywhere's closed. We're going to the grocery store.
We're gonna break in.
They're going to the only 24-hour grocery store. It's in Portland. That's why they were gone for 5 hours.
Anyway,
but they were gone. They got a pizza delivered. Bo brought this like super hot sauce, right?
Oh Jesus, okay.
And
then that's when all hell broke loose.
Not yet. So we're all eating it was Daniel. Daniel was the other one there.
Okay.
It was Daniel. And, we're all just kind of eating the pizza, and Bo's like, I got my super spicy hot sauce. And we're all like, oh, you got spicy hot sauce. And we're all trying it, and I eat it. And I, like, get up, and I'm, like, running around. It's so hot because I'm, like, fucking dramatic and being weird. But, like, oh, it's so spicy. I'm, like, getting up and walking around. Then Calvin tries it. Good to see my narrative timing is as good as I think it is. So Calvin, and he is like freaking the fuck out, and I mean like fucking. Yeah, like that was almost would have gotten this taken down for what I was about to say. No, that's you. So
he kind of starts to calm down, but he starts to get really fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying weird gay shit, but it's like, hey, he's gay, whatever. He sucks dick, whatever. He grabs a steak knife from the kitchen, but like the kind with the rounded tip.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo's sitting there playing on his computer, and he presses the steak knife so hard into the back of his neck that it bends.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like he's like, and it's like saying all this. Like I couldn't really hear what he was saying at that point because I'm like, you're gonna kill Bo. So I'm the fucking hero, the fucking king of the gentleman, and I grab the knife by the blade. And I'm like, let go. He's like, no, let go, no, let go, no, let go. Fucker cuts my finger real bad because he wouldn't fucking let go, and when he saw it, he cut me.
Didn't hit him.
No, I
fuck his shit up.
No, this was like I was still trying to de-escalate because Calvin had a knife a second ago.
But okay.
And he's, Bo gets up to go to the bathroom. I imagine to cry and shake and shit his pants. Yeah, to shake and come. And Calvin starts pounding on the door saying all this gay shit. Like that he's basically being like, he's gonna fuck Bo, he's gonna rape Bo, he's gonna turn Bo gay. This whole fucking hullabaloo. And I feel like kind of forget what happens next, but he grabs a knife, like a big ass kitchen knife. And I'm like, this is bad. And I look at Robert, and Robert looks like a beaten child. He looks scared.
Okay.
So once again, trying to de-escalate, I'm like, hey, Calvin, put that down. Calvin, put that down. Come on, buddy. And I grab his wrist, and then we're struggling over this knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Calvin's big as fuck. Like, this was also before I got really into weight training. So I was like kind of strong, but Calvin's a big boy,
Mm-hmm.
So we're fucking struggling for this knife. I eventually get him to put it back, and then something happens, and then he comes back with 2 knives. And we're fucking wrestling, right? We're fucking wrestling. And I'm like, he's gonna kill me. I'm like, he's gonna fuck around and stab me in the side.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's this fucking death struggle. I keep saying, Robert, help. Robert, help. And this fucking bitch is just not paying, like he's pretending like it's not happening. You know how Robert just like tarted out and didn't respond?
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. But instead of like, oh, Craig's just beating him up, it's Calvin has a knife. 2. Like the stakes are so high.
Stakes.
Sure.
The steak knives are so high.
Yeah, and so he's swinging around. I'm trying to fucking take them from him. He drops them. I drag him outside off the porch. He fucking I throw him to the ground. I fucking go down with him, and it's this whole fucking hullabaloo. We're wrestling until he's out of breath, and he's like, what happened? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean, what happened, Calvin? And he's like, I think I blacked out. The hot sauce was so spicy. I said, fuck you. And he's like,
he's
ask Robert.
He's one of those.
Yeah, ask Robert. My hand to God, ask Robert, because this all fucking happened. And of course, I'm mad at Calvin, because Calvin just fucking almost might have killed me on accident.
Yeah.
I'm yelling at Robert more for not having, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, well, when my friends are fighting, I don't. You fucking bitch. You were gonna let Calvin stab someone.
Oh, Robert.
Pussy. You fucking pussy. I love him to death, but god damn it, you motherfucker.
You motherfucker.
Like, I still like, I'm like, you motherfucker. I thought you were the big fucking strong man, 1,000-pound leg press in the fucking gym. And it's like, no, you're a fucking little guy, little man. You look like a beat child. But yeah, and Calvin spent the rest of the night, because it was a sleepover, obviously. Don't, it's not that gay.
No, it wasn't, because it's gay.
And he spent the rest of the night swearing up and down that the hot sauce made him black out. And for like weeks after that, he claimed that he had no idea what we were talking about.
Wait, I thought you said he tried to rape Bo.
He tried to rape Bo.
After that?
No, before that. Like, so when he was pounding on the door, that was when he was trying to rape Bo. He was pounding on the back, trying to knock the door down before he went and grabbed that knife.
Did you say that?
I might have.
Before he went down.
Yeah, I might have skipped over it because that's
Yeah,
not
you
as
did.
important.
Really?
I don't. I'm not fucking Bo. I could have continue.
No. You continue.
I'm not fucking Bo. I don't care. I mean, I don't want to say I don't care if Bo gets raped. He's not a bad guy, but also like,
The fuck.
yeah, it's like that's kind of more of a him problem.
Dang,
Calvin wielding a weapon is a me problem. I'm gonna care more about the me problem first. That's no disrespect, you Bo. I think he went on to join the army, so no disrespect. A lot of people out of our high school went into the army.
Actually.
People do a lot of, There was this one lesbian girl who when I very first met her, couldn't tell if she was a boy or a girl. And you know how I figured out she was a girl? We had PE together, and I realized I never saw her in the boys' locker room. But yeah, she's in the Air Force now. Anyways, yeah, no disrespect to Bo, but I do not like Bo getting raped by Calvin is a smaller concern than me getting stabbed.
I mean, but like, who's to say that you're not next, or you weren't next?
I hope that I guess if he had busted his nut, like he would be tired. Maybe I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
Slow down, and maybe then Robert would have helped someone. But yeah, I go.
Anyway, like Calvin and I like don't hang out anymore. Like, not because like we hate each other. Like I'm sure like if he he was like, or if I call him like, hey, you want to hang out? I'm pretty 9/10 certain he would say like, yeah, sure. But anyway, like point is I haven't seen him in a while, and I I kind of feel like weird for the parents because like the only legacy I've really left behind for like his
He's
parents
being sick.
for the only legacy I've left behind for his parents is that I really like tea, but the only reason why I drank so much tea at his house is because I was catching a cold and I didn't realize it.
You made like three teas, like three from like that's a lot of teas considering no one else was drinking tea.
Yeah.
I know, and like it's just I was like,
I
wow,
think
why is my throat feels like this? And then like next day I got a cold. It
I
was
think,
trying to tell me something.
but you have any fun stories to tell us?
um,
Oh.
I could tell you about a experience in Germany, I guess.
Yes, tell us about Germany.
So No Child Left Behind.
Stop.
In the summer of 2019, I went on a German exchange trip with my with my fellow German class. I almost said coworkers. My fellow peers at the German class. It was 4 weeks long. Fuck that.
Oh.
That's long in retrospect.
Longest 4 weeks of our lives.
I'll say, and in a good way. And you know what? Fuck you. Anyway, uh, so we're in this little town called Fusen, and the only reason why we were in Fusen is because it's right next door to a castle, and we were gonna see it the next day when this happened. And so essentially it's like a lull period, I guess, like from the afternoon to the morning of the next day we had nothing planned, so we just dicked around in like the 2,000 population town, and when it was dusk we were like, yo, let's get some alcohol, we'll go to a park, let's liven this shit up.
Delinquents.
Exactly. Sorry, I have to put this allegedly happened, wink wink.
Gotcha.
This is a joke.
Delinquents.
This is a joke, obviously. So that's exactly what we did. So it's nighttime by the time this happens, and this guy, we're gonna call him Brian. Brian drank a little more than he wanted to, because he's a fucking idiot. He goes to me like, "Hey, can you help me pee?" And I'm like, "What are you
Oh.
talking about?" And he's like, "Can you hold me still while I pee against this tree?" And I was like, "All right, fine." And like I was awkwardly holding his hand while he aims with the other hand. And he's trying to have a fucking conversation with me while he's peeing while I'm holding his hand. And
What was he trying to talk to you about?
he was trying to talk about stars. I'm like, "Oh wow, I wonder what that star is." Now keep in mind, like, for some reason, like late in high school, I started to get interested in astronomy, like actual like stars and constellations, not like
Zodiac signs.
yeah. I'm like,
I'm a
yeah,
Taurus.
yeah. I'm like, oh, that's Taurus. I'm like, oh, are you a Taurus? No, that's the actual constellation. Fuck you. Anyway,
Oh.
anyway. Also, the Pleiades are technically in the Taurus. Taurus is the Latin way of saying that,
Ooh,
and it means the bull. Not really. Kind of.
that makes
It's a loose translation. It just means bull, alright?
Bull and the Bear.
But if you
Yeah.
say
Anyway, he's like, I wonder what that star is, and I'm like, like a fucking crackhead is like, oh, that's like, in the constellation Cetus. And he was like, oh, okay. And then I ramble for a minute about constellation, and he's like, you know a lot about stars. And then like when he's finally fucking done peeing, he just lays in the grass and starts talking to me about fuck, I can't remember. Like I think he was talking about movies or something. And like I find my like escape, like, hey, I'm gonna go over here, and he's like, okay.
Okay.
And then I not so, and then I walk. I That's actually a lie. I actually ran away from him.
Ran.
To talk with some other people for once. And like the night goes on and blah blah blah, and then the time goes to where it's like, all right, we gotta get back to our hostel. And keep in mind, there's no real like adults out here at this party, if you can call it that. So like the sober people, including me, essentially makes all the other people. So keep in mind, like it's like half sober, half drunk. Just keep that in mind. So half the sober, so the sober team lines up the drunk team, like in basically single file, and like it's like a fucking chain gang, and like the sober people are the fucking guards. And so we march back to our hostel, no incident. So as soon as like everyone's settled in and like in their rooms, whatnot, I decide to go outside and call a friend. The phone call lasts about like 20 minutes ish, whatever.
Who'd you call?
You don't know him.
Oh, she goes to another school.
Yes, he goes to another school, and no, I'm not gay.
Oh.
Anyway,
Aw.
I finish my call. I go back upstairs, and I try to open the door to my hostel room. Fun fact: hostels are like, you know, like low budget hotels, and like each hostel room has like 5 beds. So
Uh-huh.
I'm sharing my room with 5 beds, or like 4 other people. So I try to open my door, and it immediately stops. And then all of a sudden, I hear, "Oh,"
Fuck.
You hear what?
just a groan from the other side of the door, and like the door is like the door crack is big enough to where I can fit my head in, and I peek in, and Brian is laying down on the floor, and his head is what stopped the door. And I'm like, "Oh, hi, Brian."
You mind scooching over a little bit?
I get him up, and like go to his and I get him to his bed and I look at the trash can and I'm like, "Oh, that's puke." Okay. And I was like and like apparently there was this another dude in there and he was like I he was basically the only chaperone of this fucking trip besides
Yeah.
Ingerson and her husband Steve. I'm sorry.
His name is Steve.
I'm sorry, Beeve. Speeve.
Steve.
Any
Frau Glennerson. I really did not expect her to be married to a gentleman named Beeve.
I know, I like that. That's odd.
I feel like it's such a normal name for. I guess her first name was Glancy, so it's like not like that weird of a name.
Hmm. Anyway, the only other chaperones besides the Gleamersons, he's like, I'm going to take care of him. You go in the other room and hang out with them. And so I do, and like, I'm talking, and we're just talking about like, our trip and like, things we're interested in, blah blah blah. And then like,
Yeah.
the conversation, reaches its natural conclusion, and there's like a minute or two of silence. You know it. And then
Yeah.
like, and during that moment of silence, we just hear quiet sobbing in the corner. And then we all turn to look, and it's one of the drunk guys, and everyone basically goes, "What's wrong? What's wrong, man?" And through through his tears, he goes, "Fucking X is dead, man." Now
And
keep in mind this was summer of 2019 where X had died recently.
I
So I guess I guess he really liked his music, and so like he's crying about it, and obviously
oh
like
XXX Tentacion.
yes.
I think you meant like his ex.
Oh, okay. No.
Anyways, huh?
And like fucking like people are like consoling him and like blah blah blah. That's really like the end of the story. But I just that's one of that's
He's crying because X died. That's fucking hysterical.
I think that was my like favorite day of my trip there.
Was watching all your fucking co-conspirators get shit faced.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, that's fucking hysterical. Just straight up fucking co-conspirators drunk. Colton laughing at them.
Like that pales in comparison to our first like night there.
Tell me about it.
So our first night we stayed at this little town called Mearsburg. It's on the coast of this big lake. Like if you took a boat and went from one side of this lake to the other, it would take you at least an hour. Like that's how big this lake is. And obviously not a speedboat. Like I mean
Rowboat?
like a no like one of those like big steamboats like you see on the river here in um Balaam.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a sidetrack. Don't get tangled up in that. So I went to bed. I won't lie. I went to bed early this night because I wasn't feeling well and like I had I wouldn't say a heat stroke per se, but I was fucking heat exhausted. Let's put it like that. And like apparently a lot of shit happened that night.
Really?
First of all, a thunderstorm rode in. Like it was pissing rain and all. And that's really like the only time that happened in our trip. So like imagine like, humid weather and then it's pissing rain and like, thunder and lightning like you're like living in Florida or some shit. And like fucking my co-conspirators got wasted apparently. Like two guys managed to like wander off into like the town, take their shirts off and just like, run through the rain and, thunder.
In a foreign land, just being like, man, I'm gonna go run out in the rain,
Shirtless, may I add.
shirtless in the rain.
Like like one guy was doing like, somersaults in the hallways of the hotel we were staying at.
What?
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
like I said, a lot of shit happened, and it was too bad that I was asleep. I mean, I did wake up to the sound of thunder at one point in the night.
Just straight up snoozing.
Mm-hmm.
That's hella funny, actually. Oh, guys, what'd you do? Well, I ran shirtless through the thunderstorm. I did cartwheels. What did you do, Colton? I took a nap.
Yeah. Apparently, two of the people that I was with had sex in the other room I was sleeping in. Yeah, a lot of fucking shit happened the first night.
People came out fucking. They came out swinging for the week.
Yeah, this was day fucking 1 or night fucking 1.
They're like, oh shit, I got 4 weeks. Gonna do 4 weeks worth of shit in one night. Like, that's fucking funny.
Eugene, are you there?
Eugene is wandering around.
Here.
Okay.
Eugene is up.
I was about to say I haven't heard from Eugene in a while.
Eugene,
you're talking about Balaam, so
Eugene's kind of up wandering around.
doesn't mean I'm not interested in the convo.
Mm-hmm.
It just means
Just for the meantime, I was
not. But that's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
This is a good segue, I think, to our first sponsor.
Raid
NordVPN. Oh, we should reach out. Once we get like 10 or 15 episodes, we should just start. You know how like a lot of times like brands reach out to you? We should just start reaching out to brands. Hey, you want to get on the ground floor? You're like, hey, we really don't really have any like core ideas, but I think we're interesting enough to hold a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Couple dozen people could hear about NordVPN tomorrow if you give us $1,000. $1,000 is a lot. A nickel.
A nickel.
A nickel. A wooden nickel, and we'll call it square. But that's shit. I'm trying to think of like any good stories I have since I've lived in this state. The other day, I work at a grocery store, right? A sandwich shop.
Yeah. Inside
of a grocery store. It's owned by a bunch of Germans. It's called Kraut's.
Kraut's.
I, by the way, thought that up in the bathroom earlier, and I've been waiting for an excuse to say that.
Okay.
I thought that was very funny because it rhymes.
Like next time you should just say Jerry's.
I should just say what?
Jerry's.
Jerry's?
Yeah.
No, because Kraut's rhymes with the actual name.
Ugh, fine.
Jerry's doesn't rhyme with it.
Fine.
But one of my coworkers and my boss were kind of talking. I wasn't really paying any attention. And I swear to God, I hear my coworker say the word cannibal. And I'm like, I'm just tripping. I'm a little bit crazy. And I hear him say cannibal again. And I start paying attention. And he starts talking about the Vacaville cannibal case of a guy who like ate a bunch of people, like killed and ate them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is work, by the way. There are customers like walking around listening to him. And he's like, yeah, he just ate a bunch of people. And my dad said it like literally scarred him for life. And like now he goes to counseling because of it. And my manager was like, also, I guess was so taken aback she forgot where she was. So she was like, really? There was a cannibal? He's like, oh yeah, dude. And he just started like I think he was the cannibal. I mean, he knew everything about the fucking Vacaville cannibal. And he was like going into like the gory details. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? What's going on here, guys? Like, what's going on? Why is what?
Like kind of reminds me of so for my job, like I rarely like people rarely talk to me, so I just always have like an AirPod in because
Yeah.
like whatever, like obviously most of the time I listen to music, but sometimes I'll listen to like comedy or podcasts, and like I always have like an irrational fear like it's somehow like disconnected the Bluetooth and like is actually being displayed from my phone and I just don't know it, or it seems
Yeah.
like it, and like all of a sudden like I fear like I'm displaying like, and then you see helicopters strafing the elderly in the background. I'm like I'm hoping to God my AirPod is in.
I honestly, so in my job, I always have an AirPod in, and I listen to metal,
Mm-hmm.
like pretty much exclusively. Sometimes I'm worried about it not being in, and I'm worried about like people hearing my music. Like one time at a different job, I kept looking around because I'm like, where the fuck is Willie Nelson playing? And I was like, that's weird. What radio station has Willie Nelson and then AC/DC? And I'm like looking around because I'm like, this isn't the radio. Who is playing this? And then like it was some like foreign, I think it was like some Bosnian song I like started playing. I'm like, this is weird. And I'm looking, I don't have my headphones. I'm like looking around and I'm like, what's the fuck is going on? It's like 15 minutes of like just random songs I like. And I'm like, what the? And I'm like, do you guys hear that? And they're like, yeah, it's coming from your pocket. And I was like, oh fuck. And I don't know how long it was going before I noticed it.
A Bosnian song I like.
Yeah, it's a Bosnian folk song.
Then,
I do not, I
then,
do not speak Bosnian.
then again, I'm one to talk. I listen to a German rock band. That's way past their
Everybody,
prime.
oh damn, you like Rammstein too?
No, it's Nina.
Don't you dare say Nina is past her prime. Thank you very much.
Well, here's the thing though. She's no longer in a band. She's just doing her own shit.
Nina is valid.
I, I'm just saying. I think she was better as a musician with when she was with her bandmates.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. You ever just sometimes make problems to make problems?
Yes and no.
Okay, at least I'm not the only one. I'm trying to think of like other cool stories I have, or like other media that I've just started. That I've started playing Fallout 3 again.
We have 10 minutes left, by the way.
Oh shit! Then it's Fallout 3 is not worth talking about for it.
Oh, we'll shelve that for another day.
Yeah. Do you want to give a quick closing statement about your opinion on the Ukraine crisis?
You want to end this spicily?
Yes, I think that if you've made it to the end, you get to hear something actually interesting. So, real quick, what is your? I don't want to say actually interesting, but you get what I'm saying.
Let's start off with a joke. I remember someone said, "Oh, thank God it was Ukraine because that's an easy color. That's an easy flag to draw."
I like that. That's very funny.
And like people can like put it on their cheeks. One blue, one yellow. All right, time for some free likes.
Free likes.
Yeah.
Honestly, or go.
No, I was just gonna do like a I support Ukraine, and
Oh
then
yeah.
like I was gonna continue with the bit I was going with. Anyway,
So, you know, whether or not you support Putin or if you support Zelensky, who we as like our involvement needs to end. They want $33 billion worth of weapons. Do you know how much money that is?
that's a lot,
That's adjusted for inflation, the same amount of money that Weimar Germany had to give the Allies.
and we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like very clear that like this isn't like an allied nation asking for help in their time of need. I swear to God, they're like, oh yeah, we need more. Why? We just need more money. We need more weapons. It's like, dude, how many more do you need? The Russians kind of dropped the ball on day one. So it's not like you're really fighting this like tank columns have been on their way to Kiev for like months.
I
Almost a
know.
year.
It feels like a year.
It's like how long are tank columns going to be on their way before like we just acknowledge that apparently all the tanks broke down on their way? Like I don't know, maybe Russian engineering is famously bad because it is. I don't know what happened, but it's very clear that all those tanks broke down somewhere on the road,
Mm-hmm.
and the Russians are just lying about being on their way. Because it's like I swear to God, if it was such like a close fight, why is it not over yet? Why do they need our money that badly?
I mean, they're they're more or less dying, Greg.
Yeah, they're more or less dying, but it's like why are we giving them money and weapons for people who are going to lose? Because either what's going to happen is they're going to lose and then all of our money was for naught, or they're going to win and guess what? All of our money was for naught. They've already Zelensky already said that even if he wins, they are still not going to join NATO.
Really? He said that?
Zelensky Yeah, Zelensky point blank said like, "Oh yeah, even after the fighting's over, we're still not going to fucking join NATO." It's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just think it wouldn't be very cool." It's like, dude. So we blow all this money, right? This crazy amount of money on you, and then you don't even join our cool club.
Welcome to our club. Welcome to our club. Welcome,
We don't
Squidward.
even
Welcome,
get
Squidward.
exactly. We don't even get to welcome him to our club because he's like, "No, I don't really want to." And it's like I think it said he wants to join the EU. I know he wants to join the EU, so like he may just think that they're like mutually exclusive or something, but it's still like, dude,
It
how come we have not acknowledged it? You keep asking for all this stuff, but then like the one thing that we want, you won't give us.
Mhm. It is strange though, and like I know at this point like most nations are doing it out of sovereignty, but it's just like it's quite the head scratcher when you think about
Yeah,
it.
it's like why is this the country we put all of this time and effort into? They're not important on the world stage. And like you could say like,
Squidward.
oh, what?
Squidward.
I know. It's like, oh, but think about the 900,000 billion million Ukrainians. It's like, cool. Think about how much any one of those Ukrainians has helped us in any way, shape, or form.
Leon Trotsky.
Was Leon from
He
Ukraine?
he grew up in Odessa.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, Ukraine hasn't like they're not an important nation to defend. And I still wouldn't agree with the amount of resources we're dumping in there for no reason. Even if we were gonna join our cool kids club, but they even won't do that.
Hmm.
So it's very clear that like the goal is to get as much weapons and as they can get, fight the fight, hopefully win, and then sell it all.
Mhm.
And it's like we have too many nations who have this grind set of like, oh yeah, America will pay for the fight. America will pay for this. America will give them this. We just need to string them along long enough to win. And it's like, dude, why are we still doing that?
Mhm. And you know what? And like, who's to say Russia won't, do drastic measures?
Yeah, like what if Russia does retaliate in like a completely off the wall way that like our continued involvement could lead to a nuclear war? Like it's just there's no real reason other than just like unless you have a lot of stock in like Northrop Grumman, there is no reason to really want us to be involved.
Mhm. And there's a line that has to be drawn somewhere. Like, oh, if we let Ukraine fall, we're just gonna let any nation fall.
I mean, I think that could prove like a really good way to get more people into our club. Is like if we let Ukraine fall, you would see like uh Finland and Sweden and a lot of other countries join NATO
Mhm.
because they would be scared. Right now, it's like, oh, I don't have to join NATO. I don't have to give the US these rights. I don't have to pay this money into the NATO defense army. I don't have to do any of this stuff, but I still get all the NATO defense.
Mhm.
Because that's kind of what Ukraine is proving is that, like, you don't need to do all the other stuff. You can just have the benefit. And I just don't like that we're setting that precedent so willingly.
Mhm. And like, what's happening in Russia is a little strange, cause like, like the fucking the naughty list of corporations that are like, we're not gonna send shit your way.
Yeah,
I've seen this post where like it's apparently like the new Batman movie is being pirated and sold
I
in movie
saw that.
theaters. Yeah. And I like shit.
It's like, no, it was like, what? No Coke, no Pornhub, no Disney. It's like, wow. Russia's going to be the healthiest, most well adjusted nation on the planet.
Yeah, that's another joke I like.
It's like this constant thing where it's like, the the Chinese aren't sanctioning them, the Pakistanians aren't. Russia is not losing that much. They've moved the ruble back onto the gold standard, which I like to think will cause a lot of nations to move on to the gold standard.
I, I'm
Personally, I hope
still
that.
I'm still not 100% sure what that means, by the way.
It just means that the ruble. So, like, the reason why the ruble lost all of its value really quickly was because no other foreign nations would accept it for a minute, right?
Mhm. Well, I mean
But when
like
it's, huh?
talking about the gold standard. Like, what does that mean exactly?
Oh, it means that each dollar is worth a certain amount of gold.
That's it?
Yeah, it's as much. It's like so the way that money used to work is like, oh, $1 is worth an ounce of gold or whatever.
Mhm.
And I mean, a gold backed currency is super stable. It's
Mhm.
borderline inflation proof. Well, it's not borderline inflation. It is not inflation proof, but it's a lot harder to inflate.
Mhm.
There's all sorts of benefits, but the only kind of drawback to it is that you can't inflate it.
Mhm.
So if your economy suddenly needs more money to like grow with its population, you're just screwed.
Yeah.
But that stability has caused Russia to rebound really well.
We have 1 minute
So,
remaining.
oh damn. Dude, speaking of Craig and Colton's ramblings, hey Colton, we have one more ad read before the end of the show.
Oh, you ain't do.
It's your turn.
uh, 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 um, uh, Raid Shadow Legends. Uh,
Thanks, Raid.
Thanks, Raid. You really are the shadow of my legend.
Do you think that if you make fun of Raid Shadow Legends, they'll ever let you have a sponsorship, or do you think it's like a once you make fun of them sponsoring literally anybody, they won't sponsor you?
I don't know. The point is, we're out of time.
Oh yeah. All right. Do you want to sign off, or do you want me to sign off?
I don't care.
All right, guys. Thanks to all three of you for listening to Craig and Colton's ramblings. We'll be back with another banger of an episode in like maybe a week or something. That sound about right?
About.
What?
About.
Yeah, like maybe a week or something. Until then, stay frosty.
And take care of each other, as my favorite
Yeah.
comedian once said.
Love one another.
And
And
don't take any wooden nickels.
don't take any wooden nickels.
My grandpa always used to say that.
Really?
Yeah, he still does, actually.
You said used to like he was dead.
I know, like, fuck, I should have clarified that. Anyway.
All right. In the words of Moist Critical. Anyways, see ya.
Bye.